6:30. I'd like to call the, what's the date today? 11th. I'd like to call the Tuesday, July 11th School Building Committee meeting to order. If I could please acknowledge participation. Those wishing to ask questions or comment could contact N. Mortali at walpole.k12.ma.us or the Walpole School Building Committee. Our next order of business is approval of previous meeting minutes. Does anybody have any questions about the minutes? Hearing none, I take a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion from Mr. Fisher. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Gallivan. All right, we poll those in attendance. Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Connor? Mr. Connor?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Gallivan?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Barrett?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Did I miss anybody?
Yeah, Mark. Bill Hahn's a yes.
All right, Mr. Hahn?
Yes.
All right, very good. It is a vote. Our next order of business is a project status update from Vertex.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah?
Mark, this is Nancy.
Yes, Nancy.
I don't know if I'm the only one, but I can barely hear you.
Yeah, we're having some sound difficulty here, Nancy. I'll try to speak up.
Okay. Okay.
Mark, can you try pulling the microphone just a little closer to you? Or...
Is that better?
Much
Yeah.
better.
Much.
Okay, very good. So Kate, an
All right.
update?
I'll hand this over to Joel to go through the construction update since the last building committee meeting.
All right, great. Thanks, everybody. First shot up on the screen now. We're looking at A building. You can see Bird School over to the left of the photo there to kind of orient yourself. So two biggest updates you can catch from this photo. You can see the progress on the roof on A building. So we've actually made it all the way across A building since this photo was taken. So roof is going down, and that's an important milestone to keep the water out of the building. And you can also see the purple material on the building exterior. That's the gypsum sheathing. So the sheathing's been applied to that exterior face, and at each window opening, you can see there's like a kind of a red lining. That's fire treated window blocking. So those openings will each carry a window when the windows get delivered. Exterior is moving along quite nicely. It's good for that photo, okay? Another shot of the exterior here. You can kind of see we've got all the roofing materials staged for the other building areas ready to go. So the roofer will kind of march right along, same sequence as the steel. If you look closely on that photo, you can kind of see each of the floor slabs in A building and B building. Those have all been poured at this point, and a few of them since the last meeting. So the concrete floor slabs are ongoing, making good progress there. All right, and a look inside the building here. You can see we've started putting up some ductwork. Our HVAC contractor is on site, running some of the big trunk lines. And you can see on the ground there, all the interior framing material has been delivered. So we're taking a look at the second floor of A building, and the framer's ready to get going. And that'll kind of drive the interior progress. We'll start building the interior walls. A peek at the roof here. This view, you can kind of get a good view of how thick the insulation system is on the building. So that we have a 12-inch layer of insulation over most of the roof, and that's where you get a lot of your energy savings in the future. But kind of a good shot there, you can kind of see that coming together, and that little kind of block area in the front there. You can see that's a roof drain. So all the insulation will end up sloping to those roof drains, and that's how the rainwater will get off the building in the future. right, and another look inside. The picture on the left there is Area B building. We're looking at the second floor, so you can get a good look at the finished floor slab there. And also in the right of that photo, you can see some staging. That's the first elevator shaft. So in B building, the first elevator's going up. And so the mason has arrived on site and started doing the block work for that elevator shaft. In Area D here, we're looking kind of with the auditorium to your back, looking towards the gym. You can see some of the slab reinforcing, the mesh that goes in the slab before they pour the concrete. So that's all been installed, and we're getting ready to move into that area with the slabs. That's about it. A couple highlights on what we've just been through and kind of the look ahead too. The miscellaneous metals subcontractor, he's the guy that does the stairs and the railings and some of the miscellaneous supports out of metal. He's on site, and we've got 2 staircases built, and he's on to his 3rd now in B building. So that's moving right along. And we also, the next kind of visible thing that you'll see is that purple sheathing that we looked at earlier. That's going to get covered by the waterproofing subcontractor with an air vapor barrier material. So that's the next step that goes up. And then right behind him, we'll have the brick starting. So the mason is doing the elevator shafts now, and his brick has been arriving, and he'll get started on the exterior brick right behind the waterproofer. And so we'll see by next meeting, we'll see some brick going up, and that'll be kind of the next big visible thing on site.
Joel,
Yeah.
quick question. Do the windows go in after the masonry, after the mason finishes the brick?
Yeah, whenever possible. I've only maybe once done it the other way around, but it's always a risk because the mason will use an acid to clean up, and
Yep.
that stuff can etch the windows and stuff. So whenever we can, we do the windows after. So right now the windows are due to land in September, right behind the mason.
Thank you.
Yep. That's about it for update, Kate. Coordination model. So we got a few more updates on the coordination model here. We're looking into, you can see the gym area on the second floor. This is kind of the last area that we got to work out is the gym and some of those areas by the kitchen and so forth in D building. That's probably the simplest portion of the building that's left in terms of MEP coordination. It's a lot of big open spaces, and all the stuff for the kitchen has been done already because most of that's fed from underground. So we should be pretty much, we're at about 80%. I'd say within 2 weeks we'll be done with the MEP coordination and just some cleanup stuff to get through. So by next meeting, I would expect that the update will be that we're done with the MEP coordination.
Thanks, Joel. Anybody have questions for Joel? So next, I guess, Kate, it's potential change orders. Over to you.
Just to jump through the meetings held really quickly. So we continue to have our same MEP coordination meeting that Joel was talking about. Our OAC meetings are ongoing. Our internal hot list meetings are ongoing. Our D-scope meetings are ongoing. We met with the landscape and site contractors, specialties and lockers, signage and acoustic panels since we met at the last building committee meeting. We had our lead kickoff meeting in June, our MEP FP commissioning kickoff meeting in June as well, masonry kickoff meeting, AVB kickoff meeting. We had our interiors color working group meeting at the end of June, and then 2 technology meetings. And then in terms of construction administration, TAPE is on site weekly. The geotechnical consultant, Weston Sampson, is on site weekly. Pretty much the structural engineer has been out. IMEG Plumbing has been out. And PSI, our third party inspector, has been out. And then our document control is going pretty smoothly. We're about 75% complete with submittal review. The RFIs have been going back and forth in a timely manner. ASIs, architect supplemental instructions, are coming out as needed. And we have 4 new PCOs since the last meeting. Just to touch base, we are not going to be voting any VE items tonight, but I did leave the logs in here just for reference because they will come up again in the future. This is just a summary of what was voted to date. And then the PCO log. So just a reminder, everything that is in orange was approved previously in a change order. Everything in green is to be voted tonight by the building committee. Anything in yellow is under review. In white, we're still waiting on a submission, but we have an estimated amount plugged in. So we scroll down to the bottom, the black lines identify what has been talked about in previous meetings. And I mentioned there was 4 new PCOs. So PCO 21R1, Stair 4, Level 3B FDC credit. This was a coordination item that came up in terms of the drawings. So the fire protection drawing showed a fire hose valve with a cabinet in the Stair 4 landing, but there's not actually a landing at this location. So it was a coordination item in the drawings, and we get a credit for $1,457. Amphitheater drainage revision. This is PCO 22. This is for $11,919. This is an additional area drain in the amphitheater plaza to help prevent possible flooding issues in the future. This is something that was brought up as something we wanted to add in. It's under review now. Prep room casework, PCO 23. This is $331. This was an upgrade from cabinet BC 30 to BC 36. This was just the price difference in that in the science prep rooms. And then the fourth one was PCO 28, a dishwasher credit for $6,024. So this was a credit associated with the dishwashers that were carried in the appliance buyout, and they were bought out in the casework. So this was a credit back to the contract. They were bought out in a different package. So in addition to PCO 21R1 and 23, the third PCO we're asking for approval is PCO 13, electrical revisions in the amount of $4,976. This was something that came up during coordination. It is a revise outlet switches in various locations, including the cafe, orchestra, and band room, remove a light fixture associated with switches in the conference room, miscellaneous junction box, and panel revisions. This was something that came up in our coordination meetings. So we're asking for an approval tonight for change order 6 in the amount of $3,850. Any questions?
Questions, anybody? So do we have a motion to accept the change order? So Kate, you want us to accept the change order as highlighted in green, correct?
Yep. So it is PCO 13, PCO 21R1, and PCO 23 for a total of $3,850 to make up change order 6.
Very good. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion from Ms. Gallivan. Do we have a second?
Second.
Sorry, I didn't hear who that was.
Second.
Ms. Kenny, thanks, Jean. Let me poll the committee. Ms. Kenny, Dr. Kenny.
Yes.
Pardon me.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Connor,
Yes.
Ms. Gallivan,
Yes.
Mr. Frisha.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Barrett,
Yes.
Dr. Hahn,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Did I miss anybody? Very good. Our next item of business is to review the vendor invoice package. Kate?
Yep, so just our standard invoices, Vertex, Tape, and Fontaine. The Vertex invoice includes $11,172 for the third-party testing agent, PSI. The Tape invoice for $131,000. The Fontaine rec for $1,984,000 for the month of June. And then there's a breakdown by division of what that includes. And then a reminder of what we've submitted the MSBA for reimbursement to date. The reimbursement request 29 went in at the end of June, and that's under review now with the MSBA. should be coming back the next few weeks, an updated budget just for reference. And the total June VIP is $2,191,677.82.
Do we have any questions about the vendor invoice package? Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept the vendor invoice package for June of 2023?
I'll move.
I have motion for is that Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from,
Bill Hahn.
all right, Mr. Hahn, Dr. Hahn, thank you. Let me pull the committee. Ms. Kenny, Dr. Kenny, pardon me.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Connor,
Yes.
Ms. Gallivan,
Yes.
Mr. Frisha,
Yes.
Mr. Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Barrett.
Yes.
I vote yes, and Mr. Hahn.
Yes.
It is a vote. So next, we have the discussion from, as to communications from the MSBA. Kate?
So we've submitted the change orders to date through June for the quarterly review. MSBA, our first MSBA remote site visit is scheduled for tomorrow. They're usually pretty quick, and that's just something that Vertex does directly with the MSBA, just to make sure they're up to date on all the contracts issued to date, and an update on construction on site. And they are currently working on drafting the project funding agreement bid amendment. So we should be seeing that probably in the next month or two. And just a reminder of the meeting dates for the rest of 2023. Our next meeting is scheduled for August 15th at 6:30. That's all I have.
Any questions? Any final questions from anybody? Hearing none, I would take a motion to adjourn.
Mark, you know what? I just had one. I'm sorry, I couldn't find my unmute button.
Yep.
How are we doing with the neighbors? Are we hearing anything from them?
We have been hearing some from the neighbors, mostly before school got out, with parking up on the northern side, with subcontractors. Subcontractors are now parking in the teacher lot. We've had a few vibration inquiries just because we're trying to get as much site work done this summer as possible, and we have to use the vibratory roller when needed to hit compaction. But I think all in all, it's been going pretty smoothly. In the last 2 weeks, I have not heard anything from the neighbors, but I am sending them the weekly update to let them know when we're going to have concrete pours and when site work is going to be in specific areas.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, if a motion from Ms. Gallivan, do we have a second?
Second?
Second from Dr. Kenny. Let me poll the committee. Dr. Kenny,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Connor,
Yes.
Ms. Gallivan,
Yes.
Mr. Frisha,
Yes.
Mr. Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Barrett,
Yes.
Dr. Hahn,
Yes.
and I vote yes, it is a vote. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks all.
Thank you. Thank you.